Sorry, we're running a little bit behind, but we're going to change some things up. First of all, how many of you know who I am, or do you have any questions for me before I begin? Wait, are you raising your hand because you know who I am, or because you have a question?
Do you know who you are?
I know who I am today. I'm not in costume.
What is your identity?
Today, it's that guy.
It's kind of plastic now.
It's well, it's this thing, and it's just, cool. It doesn't fit. No, it is.
No, we'll just blame Chad on that. He's probably not there. He's not here, right?
Chad's fault.
Well, no, this was stupid now.
You got it.
You're right, buddy. Good. And
Oh, it just slid again.
long.
It just fell down again.
And then we can start karaoke.
It did. It fell through there quick.
As long as I'm not moving it.
Okay.
I think it's just because it's not
We
tight
need to
enough
talk.
down there.
All right. Let me explain, because there's some people that may not know who I am, but I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm not an author. I'm just a person. And all I can say is I was a person that was into probably the same thing that a lot of people were into back in the day, as far as my generation. I was born in 1971, so obviously I grew up with Sesame Street. I grew up with Star Trek on TV, Lost in Space reruns, went into What's Happening. I still love reruns. Fred Berry's one of my favorite guys on TV of all time. So I had the whole pop culture scene. But at the same time, there was a part of me that when I was a kid, and if you were here last year, you probably heard me say that my entire life I was told, you need to go be on TV, you need to be in movies, you need to be a comedian, you need to be on the radio, you need to do this, 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 and this. There was never a you need to go serve God message in my life. Never. It was more about kind of taught, you just need to be a good person. God will love you. And you'll be okay and you'll get to heaven. The more I started reading the scriptures, I think there was more to it that started convicting me. But it wasn't because of that, just reading the scriptures. It was because of things that started happening in my life. Things that I couldn't explain to anybody. I couldn't explain to anybody why, I would see some of the things that I'd see, and I try and tell, even people at my local church about what I was seeing. Even going up into my adulthood, I'd see things in the sky. And people would go, little green men. No, I was seeing things like lights moving. At times I'd see this. I saw the stars dance with one of my girlfriends in 1993 that really made me go, what's going on here? I mean, it scared the living daylights out of us. And I thought, well, I'll go to somebody that can tell me, how does it relate to God's creation? And it wasn't, there was no answer. There was, you're one of those guys now. And, as somebody who's 17, 18 years old, you're going, well, what do you mean I'm one of those guys now? That's, okay, so if I was 12, would you believe me? If I was 80, would you believe me? Or is it because I'm just getting to that point in my life? And so what happened was, what's up, Skiba? Everybody rock Skiba? So, it was one of those things that when that happened to me, when that particular instance actually happened to me, and when that did, things kind of started to change in my head. And I actually started to believe in aliens. And I started to figure out, well, why would God make aliens that would come here and do these crazy abductions? And more, and I started researching, like, these people that have been abducted. I mean, that's awful. How, I don't want to have those things go up inside me, and I don't want to have this fear and this terror and all these things. And instead of a pastor going, you know what, let me explain this to you, because this is what the enemy's doing, it was more along the lines of, we don't talk about it. I'm not going to talk about this. And I think this is why the church is in trouble today, because we've ignored the spiritual war that's going on around us, and it's become physical. That's what's going on. And so this whole session was going to be called Cut, That's a Wrap. The reason why is because my whole life I was influenced by television and movies, not by the Bible. And so once things started happening to me that I didn't do, things that I couldn't write, one of my phrases, you can't write this stuff. You just can't write So when I started to see that, and how many of us have said that my life is like a movie? Like, man, that's just like a movie. We always say, man, that's just like a movie. And it is. If we grew up in this generation. You said that 400 years ago, and people would be like, what's that? But we're in that generation where we can actually get on these phones, we can pull a movie up, we can watch whatever. I can get my 2-year-old to quit crying real quick when I pull up dump trucks. Seriously. And if the battery dies, I need to go find one on the road.
Yeah.
So there's one, but this is one of those things where I look at this, and as that influence came into it, and I was one of those guys, I'm like, this is just like a movie, it's just like a movie, it's just like a movie. And then when these things started happening, I started seeing things differently, reading in the scriptures, going, wait a second, what are these chariot things in Ezekiel? What's this mean? What's this mean when he's going to part the clouds? He's going to come in through the clouds. I mean, what about Australia? I mean, if he comes through the clouds here in southern Indiana, which I know I'm not south Indiana, but how are they going to see him in person? The opposite side. I mean, all these things came to me, and I started looking at it going, this makes sense. But it was through the time that he actually started showing me things. And what happened was as I started looking more into the scriptures, looking for the answers, because I found that some of the stuff in Ezekiel, I realized, I'm like, well, wait a second. They were seeing this stuff long before we had rockets, long before we had planes. And when you start researching it more, you're like, this is definitely like a movie. It's his movie. It's been written, and we're actually in it as it's playing out. So if he had the idea, just like any screenwriter would have, you have to have the concept first before you can do the storyboard. Or you can have the picture in your mind. You have to have the concept. I'm not saying I've got God figured out. But now that I look and I can see the actual reality that we're in, it's not about rerun. It's not about Captain Kirk. It's not about Bugs Bunny. Those are the things that sidetrack us to actually getting into the Word and keeping us in the Word so that we can actually see that what these things are actually, some of these things were taken from the Scriptures. I'm not saying Bugs Bunny was. I'm talking about the whole motivation of telling a story, of actually coming up with your own idea, of being creative. It's kind of what they were doing in Babylon. Anything they set their mind to, they could do, right? We're there now. I can sit here and make a movie. There's kids. I just saw it this morning. When I got up, the first thing this morning when I got up, it was on my suggested video list. There are kids in Nigeria that are using cell phones to make a movie. They saved up their money and bought a green screen, and they've gone viral. And their stuff is good. And they don't have anything. And they're making full-blown movies. So I'm looking at this and going, the power behind this, it's like, wow. So if we can make our own movie now, and we can take our own feet, and we can actually in our own hands and do this stuff, that's great. It's great to use your gift and do whatever you want to do. You can do that. But if for whatever reason, if we look at our life and we go, okay, my life was like a movie, then all of a sudden these things start to happen, and I can't stop these things from happening, and I can't stop looking at these things, and I can't stop growing and wanting to know something changed in here. And in that process, somebody up there, I believe, said, cut. That's a wrap. You're going to start doing things differently. And that's what happened. And I look at that and I go, man, I went from being a jock in LA. When I say jock, I'm talking about the Dodgers. I was a radio guy. I was a night guy. And I had fun doing radio when I was doing it. When I look back, I'm so glad that I don't have a cassette tape any longer because my kid might find one of those pictures. Stuff that I talked about, stuff that I was doing, not problem. Not at all. At that time it was all about me. It's like, let's get the ratings, let's get that bonus check. Let's do this, let's make this money. Let's be popular, let's be famous. Let's be a movie star. God said, no, cut. That's gotta stop. It was the pride. And so once I let go of the pride, I started going, well, I don't want pride anymore. I want knowledge. I want wisdom. What is this stuff that I'm seeing? What is this, the paranormal stuff? What is this about power? What is this about, the whole tribe? Where are the tribes from? Have we been lied to about America? All these questions came in, rushing in. I started looking around like, there's no movies about this. Nothing. There's nothing that I can relate to in Hollywood. Nothing. So I said, that's it, cut. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't want to look at this stuff anymore. I quit watching TV, I quit watching movies because I couldn't stand watching it. It was nothing but filth. It was diversion. And then when I did watch it, I couldn't even watch it for the shut up? We're trying to watch a movie now. So I went on this journey. And it's kind of funny how this worked out today. And this is another thing. You can't write this stuff. I show up to do our beach side today. This is how I'm going to tie this all together. Because I think you guys understand that I'm on a journey just like the rest of you are. I'm nobody special. I'm just, if God says you're going to go here and do this, I'm like, okay. And I don't hear God go, Rick, you got to wake up. You got to go over here. You got to get this. You got to do this. I don't hear that. It's almost like a download. Like, you got to go do this. And then something happens. And it's happened several times, especially in the last 5 years, before this flat earth thing came out. And it started with a journey I started looking into. I was alone at night. One night, wife was downstairs. I was upstairs. Our daughter was, at that time, she was really little. So we were actually going to do a Bible study that night. And didn't get to happen. So I'm sitting there with my Bible. My wife goes downstairs. So I knew she wasn't going to come back up to the boss. And what had happened was I had seen something in the sky with a fellow coworker who was an ordained minister. And we saw something in broad daylight in the sky that looked like balls of fire appearing and disappearing. And they went across the sky. This in the middle of a Saturday afternoon. And we both sat there and watched this. I'm going to say for 20 minutes. And it was on a Saturday. We ended up, both of us leaving. Monday morning, he came back. He came up to me at work and said, "Did you watch Fox News Saturday night?" And I said, "No, I don't have cable." He goes, "No, man, it's not like the local Fox." I go, what happened? He said, "They teased what we saw." I'm like, "Did they show it?" He goes, "No." They said, "We're coming right back with today's sports scores and highlights and a little something extraterrestrial." And they played the X-Files. So when they came back from commercial, they never showed anything. Now, I'm in a small market. So I actually, when he told me this, I'm like, I took off running. He goes, "Where are you going, man?" I go, "I'm going to pull this up on the computer." He goes, "Dude, they never played it. It's not online." I looked. I stopped. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "No." So I picked up the phone and I called Ed Kroll, was his name. "Sorry, I'm calling you out." And I called him and I said, "Ed," I got him on the phone. This is the news director. I knew the guy because I used to do radio in the market. I knew the guy. I said, "Ed, when you guys were going to play this story about the extraterrestrial stuff on Saturday night," I said, "they never ran the story. And I see it. I want to see it." He goes, "Hey, Rick, let me call you right back." Put me on, or hung up. Never called me back. Never took the call again. I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody in that situation. The reason why is because he may not have the truth in him to say, "You know what, it may cost me my job, but I'm going to tell this guy who actually wants to know." That's the kind of movie star, quote unquote, in your life that you have to be. You have to be confident enough to just tell the truth. So when I say I'm looking into all this stuff, all I want to do is find out more and share it. Find out more and share it. Find out more and share it. And I started looking more and more into these quote unquote chariots, which led me into looking into the hollow earth, which tied into Sheol, which tied into the Nephilim, and then Rob Skiba enters my life. Sorry. But I'm thankful. And so here I am talking about all this movie stuff my whole life. That's what I did. I mean, I literally left from bailing hay one summer, helping a buddy of mine out, to next thing you know, I was on the air in LA within a year, and my co-host was Shaka Khan. I was doing my show, and Shaka would come in and be my co-host. And we had this big opportunity to go to a national level and to syndicate our show, just like Delilah on there. They wanted us to kind of do that. You know, the Diva and Farm Boys, kind of like Green Acres, the south side of Chicago girl and this guy from the Midwest, they just meet and they end up on the radio together. It's crazy, but it worked. But for whatever reason, God said, "No, that's not going to happen." The next thing you know, I found myself back in Indiana. Next thing you know, I found myself, running all over the place, still trying to do radio, still trying to hold on to this, grasping this idea of what I'm supposed to be. And I didn't write the script. And I can't write the script. I have to go with the script that's already written and play the role that I'm supposed to play. And that's why I try and tell people, it's like, listen, he knows the beginning to the end. And I'm not going to get into a predestination debate, because I know a lot of people don't like that word. But we have to admit that he had a plan before anything happened. Before he put the storyboards together, he wrote it out in his mind. And when he spoke it into existence, from the beginning to the end, everything, there's no mystery in the middle. We don't know how God thinks. We don't know what he's going to do. But what I can say is he brought me into this whole thing to where as if you look at this like a movie, here comes these new characters in my life. So Rob comes in, and the reason why Rob came in is because here I was this whole time of waking up, I'm like, man, I really love what I used to do. I can't do what I used to do anymore. I can't use the talents I used to use. I can't do radio anymore. I can't do TV anymore. I'm never going to do movies or nothing. And then this thing comes on, this guy comes on, he's talking about, I got this idea, places on me, to go to war, to expose the enemy, but to tell a great story. And Rob started talking about this program, this idea that he had called Skiba. And I literally get paused. And I ran down the stairs and I woke my wife up that night. I'm like, babe. She's like, what? I go, I found the guy I got to get a hold of. And she's like, I go, this guy, I go, get up. And I made her go upstairs. She's like, with my wife, as you know, it took her like 15 minutes to get up there. She falling up the steps. But no, she looks at it, she's like, all of a sudden I met her, she went, oh my gosh. She's like, you should. And before I knew it, within a couple of weeks, he's like, I'm going to put this idea together, I'm going to put auditions out there, I'm going to see if people want to audition and send me their stuff. I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm doing it. And so I put this audio piece together and sent it to him, and he had gone to bed, and the next morning, I had this email from him, what? Or whatever it was. I got to tell the other side of that. So if you're holding on to these things that you wanted to do, once you let him direct your life, you now become his actor, his person he's going to put on the red carpet. Because he spilled the red blood for you. He did this so that you could actually be a warrior in this time. And I truly believe that each and every one of us that we're put in the room at this particular time, we're witnessing something phenomenal. I mean, the phone that I have now, if somebody would have handed me this when I had my flip phone, I probably would have married the person, even if it was a thing. Like, you're the best person after I want to marry you. Never that is, you're a football player. You can't marry me either. It's one of those things where it's like, I look at this and I go, wow, I did not see this coming. I would never see your guys' faces. I'm honored to be here. I'm humbled to be here. I'm not proud to be here because I don't want anything to do with pride anymore. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. When I feel it come on, I go, let it go, away. And I struggle. It's easy to struggle with that. And I've had buddies of mine ask me, why don't you do a show? Why don't you do that? I know that it's good. I don't want any part of that. That's not where I want to go. I'll do some pieces, but I can't do the daily thing. I know me too well. I did it for too many years. I'm going to worry about optimization, ratings, numbers. I don't want anything to do with it. I can't. That's just me. Other guys, that's their calling. They're great at it, and that's what they do, and that's what God has them. I'm happy to help assist whoever I can assist in the challenges they face trying to do these productions, and that's what I knew it was on my heart before I even spoke to this guy. So when the doors opened, it wasn't Rob that opened, it wasn't me that opened. I truly believe it was all in point in time. Here you go. I'm going to bring in a brother in your life, and from that brother right there, the dominoes just keep falling. I mean, I met all you. Look at you, man. I made you do it. Twice we've seen each other, but I looked him in the eye like, that's my brother. I looked you yesterday. I saw you yesterday, the day before yesterday. I watched you. You're my brother. This is what it's all about. So let's play this role. Let's do this. And I want to bring up two guys that are really special to me. They're really like my brothers. Love the Jesus. Skiba Robbie Davidson. Come on up. Kevin, I love you.
So just kind of real quickly, the other side of that story was, I started working on Seed 2009, so November of this year will be about 10 years. And, all that time I'm keeping my head against the wall, and I'm like, man, I mean, this is expensive. I mean, you start looking into the numbers of what it takes to make a TV series or a movie, it's like crazy. And so I had all this stuff, I had all these ideas, I had these scripts, I had no money. So I was just like, come on, what am I going to do? And how many of you remember This Present Darkness, Frank Freddy's book? He did have you ever listened to the audio of it? Where he reads the book and he does all the voices. Like he does a great job of all the voices with the angels and everything. It had sound effects. I'm like, wow, that was like the craziest, coolest thing ever. And so I remember, I'm like, well, the audiobooks are making it come back, So I'm like, what if we did an audio drama version? I have some audio idea. And so, but I was struggling, right? You know, and so I just put out this little notice on Facebook. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm kind of looking for some actors. You know, I got this project, and the first person that responded was this guy. And he auditioned for the part of one of the fallen angels, and I'm using the Book of Enoch that talks about it names several of the fallen angels and what they did and what they taught them to do. And I had written a scene where one of the fallen angels is torturing this guy, and I wrote something like he speaks with like a elongated essence, he's like a serpentine type of creature. And so he sent me the audition, and he sounded like Vincent Price doing a lizard creature. And he did the voice of the angel and the victim, and sound effects, and a little bit of music and everything. And that was my first response. Now, I was laying in bed. My wife and I were just laying there, and I was at a phase of my life where I didn't even want to wake up anymore. Another day, right? So I checked my email, and I go, oh, okay. Like, I'm like, whoa! Holy cow! It's like, I'm supposed to listen to like 5 times. And then I'm like, I gotta contact this guy. This is amazing. Like, and he starts talking like Morgan Freeman, and he sounded like everybody. Like, he was like, holy cow, dude! So he plays the narrator of the audio drama. He plays Pierce, who's like a Vin Diesel like New Yorker type character, and Michael Clark Duncan, the big. You ever see The Green Mile? The big guy, Michael Clark Duncan. I wanted a guy like Michael Clark Duncan that was kind of a Cajun kind of guy, and he's like, this is the only yeah, exactly like that. So if you ever get a chance, you should watch the outtakes of us. We had such a good time, huh? Because I was directing him on Skype, and he's doing all these voices, and he had such a blast on it. But like you said, I'm convinced God's in. It's never just about us. He's in at a minimum for a 2-for-1 deal, at least. And so, I'm praying for things to happen and stuff like that. He's praying for things to happen like that. And God's like, okay, I can see a matchup here. Boom. And then, next thing you know, we're chasing balloons in Ohio and going across Lake Michigan and all kinds of stuff. And meeting Robbie Davidson, and the rest is history now we're here. So that's the other side of the story.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is, because the beachside chat kind of fizzled because some of you guys are up too late. I'm not saying any of you here, but some of the people want to go to the beachside chat. You went there this morning, like it's just like boom, like a switch. And it was weird because it was like almost like when I was running down those steps, it's like I want to get ready to go do all this. Like I knew it.
And I was dragging myself going, I don't know.
This is what I want to do. He's opened the door. And it's like, wow, this is going to be great. And we're a lot alike in so many ways, but at the same time, I think it'd be like the odd couple if we were really So all I can tell is he really, I can say this, and the easiest way I can say this, Rob's been an inspiration. He's been an encouragement in my life. And I think that the way that God can take somebody and use somebody and show you that, hey, this guy's doing it. I'm going to show you, that this is something you need to be a part of. Right when I was basically, I was really depressed. That's why I was upstairs all the time. I was upstairs reading. I was trying to find something that just I would click with. And when it happened, it was just, like I said, we can't write this. I could never have written this out in my life. If somebody would have said, they worked with Skiba, even in, like, say, 1996, and say, you're going to leave LA, you're going to leave the Hollywood dream, you're going to leave all these people behind, you're going to go back to the Midwest, and we're just going to put you here right after your dad dies. Whoa, what? That would have sank me like a ship full of rocks. If I would have heard that then. Now I look at it and go, what a great story. What a great story. I'll take all the good and the bad together because I'm looking forward to what's going to happen tomorrow. I know every day that I wake up and I see that new day coming at me, I know what's going on. And we're getting closer and closer to the kingdom that's yet to come. We are going to do our work now
we're going to bring this forth, and we're going to take on the enemy, and I know that the masses are going to be deceived, but I also know that there are nets to be cast, and we need to use the creativity, the creative minds that we can have, that He's given us, not to use for ourselves, but to share that information with others. And then Robbie Davidson shows up on stage. And he has this idea, he's got this idea of, while you were doing the videos, you were doing the videos with Controversy 7 and Celebrate Truth working together. And I thought, man, these two guys working great together. You got different spectrums, and he's from somewhere in Africa, Nigeria. Yeah, but he was where you live. And they were doing this great video. I'm like, oh, they got the right idea. They're doing the green screen, they got the studio, they got this look that you need to have to get the attention of people that are holding phones other than flip phones. I'm just kidding. I wish I had my flip phone, honestly. We got 2-year-olds. I gotta have dumb girls. Yeah. So Rob and I are already doing stuff together. We're already kind of working together. And a lot of people, if they can't get a hold of Rob, I'm his secretary. Just so you know. And anybody online, just so you know, I do not have the red phone for Rob. But I'll do my best. But yeah, that is true. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's all. I knew you were 20. But anyway, long story short, it's my honor, and once again, another great brother here, even though he's Canadian. I hold that against him. I actually love where he's from, and I have been there, and what a great place, and what a great guy. This is Robbie Davidson. It was an amazing experience because I came up with scientific exposure, and the people, there was these great people that I had met, come closer to, became real brothers, and Rob, Skiba, and Red Hummer became very, very close. We talked about a lot of stuff going on, YouTube, relating to a lot of things, and it was actually Red Hummer that reached out to me. It was really rare because in my journey, most times I was just reached out to someone. I reached out to Rob. I think I just got a hold of you and started talking. I got a hold of you shortly after the Global Live. It's like, put this mash, and it was like a ton of your stuff in there. And I'm just like, hey, by the way, we talked afterwards, but I knew it was going to be good. I've seen a lot of people that are running stuff with it, online. But I know that you had reached out to me out of the blue. You just tell he had an incredible passion. And both these gentlemen, obviously this is a call. And everything that's happening and everything that's being discussed is for a reason. There's a purpose behind it. And when we decided to do the sequel, it was actually John Gableson was doing an event in Austin, Texas, called Back to the Future. Because such a opportunity that we've had with Rob and Rob doing well. And he invited me out to the conference. And this, honestly, is the first time I actually spoke. He wanted me to come out and speak. I had never spoken before on any topic. But this was the first one talking about flat earth and scientists. Well, it was amazing because it just so happened that, everyone was going to be there, right? Rob, Rick, other people as well. So that was the first time meeting them in person. So while we're shooting this documentary, now we're, I remember, I'll never forget, I was on that chair, just going to sit and hang it out. You guys just kind of walk in, and you guys are just going, you guys got garage, and you're just set up. And you guys are talking with the music, and you guys just kind of going in and like, whoa, because when you first meet someone, you've seen them on YouTube for a while, you go talk to them for a while, and then all of a sudden they show up. I stood up when we first walked in, like, hey, Rob. I stood up, Rob started looking at me, he's like, oh, that's one reason. I started counting his fingers. And then I think Rob, we talked about this before, but there's enough things being redeemed. That's a whole other debate. I actually don't have big feet for my height. What's that? Absolutely. So we're talking away and just having an amazing time, but it's been an incredible journey. Just being part of this entire process, and Rob, Skiba, and Rick Hummer become incredibly close in my life. We talk about everything. There's a specific reason from the very start, starting Flat Earth International Conference. Rick Hummer has been the MC of every single one, including Canada. This is number 4 here in Dallas, Texas. Rob's been at every single one of my conferences and will remain to, even when people are coming against and saying, how should I go? And I have all sorts of people attacking anybody that I pick or choose. There's a constant. There's that team mentality. Well, we'll open the Q&A if you want to ask me about Logan Paul. I'll always be up with that. But like I said, it's one of those things where it's an amazing journey. I'm really privileged and blessed to be part of it, especially to be playing Bill. Yeah. Well, and on that, real quick, on the Logan Paul thing, you know, I'm gonna say this about Robbie. I know what he was thinking, and that is, here you've got a guy who's really swallowed up by the world. That you can't help that he was lying when you look back. Well, yeah, I was a liar about all men be a liar, but God be true. And, you know, I still don't tell the truth in everything. If somebody says, how's your day going? I'll say, oh, it's going great. It's really not. That's a lie. And I look at it from that standpoint. It's like, I'm not going to hold a grudge on this guy. I'm not going to keep harping about it on my end of it, which could have easily happened. You know, I had Mark up for 4th of July, and we had a long talk about it because Mark Sargent left that conference. And, you know, when you look back on it and go, well, you know, what was Robbie's intention? I don't know. I'm not Robbie's head. But what I do know is that what he told me was, could you imagine this guy, if he's serious about wanting to learn, and he's got a friend that's actually a flat earther, and he's like, all right, I'll just check it out, because it is something at one time was at the top of the food chain in optimization before they started censoring it. And it was growing, and they knew it, and they had to hide it. That's why the algorithms are so much different now. What I saw you doing was trying to find that ounce of opportunity, or that little tiny keyhole to go, okay, we're going to go right in here, and if we can open this guy's mind, can you imagine the testimony that a guy like this could have? Imagine a guy like that actually waking up. And he's obviously using a slumber. He showed that with his truth. I will say this: when I saw him do this, drop somebody else's property on the floor, I knew that, like, I will say that. And, you know, at that point in time, I was like, oh man, if only they would have been serious about it, what those guys could actually have. And I do. When I see those guys, I see two miserable dudes. I see two miserable guys trying to laugh their way through life with no answers. Because money, it can come and go. Fame, it's going to come and go. The only power that they have right now is what they think they believe. And that's going to get shattered as they get older. You got nothing. You don't have him, you got nothing. And that is what we shall be praying for, is to actually get that, and get to receive who he is, and know who he is, and get that wisdom, and have a fear of God. Because to fear the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom, with your own. Yeah. Yeah. My question. Okay. Yeah. Well, from what I know, okay. Somebody, she asked. Okay, which question are we going with first? Oh, okay. Hadley, yeah. Noel J. Hadley. She said Noel's come a long way with. He really has, and he's a talented writer, and I can see his heart is literally. I can just feel his heart beating for others. Kevin then asked about Patricia. Can we talk about Patricia Steer? And, you know, I didn't speak to Patricia before we left, but for whatever reason, because I came out of the radio side, there was always this bond that I had with her anyway. You know, we both had to read liner cards that we didn't want to read. You know, we had to play records that we probably thought stunk. And had to say, here's the greatest song they come out with in 10 years. What I can say with her is that, first of all, I've never heard her have an ill mouth towards anybody. And that's a gift in itself. The accusations that would fly, what I can tell you on that is that, man, this is a woman that cover her in prayer, let God's will be done for her life, and I just pray that her eternal life is where we all want it to be. And that her testimony continues to get stronger as far as even growing in her own, in this world, and seeing, because I think the more that you have the veil lifted off of how evil the world really is, the more that you realize, I better find out who one is who can bring in this peace and who he is.
It's common prayer. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And you know what?
It's bringing up the front line. You're a believer, you know, imagine what happens to someone who gets shot up easily shelter. That's kind of our responsibility, but I think we're a little bit involved in it. But honestly, I thought honestly, there's no crazy stuff. Crazy people have no mention in the article very understood. I know so significant for non-Christian families of all these that she met, the three people that she mentioned in the article were Christian. What does that mean, right? She knows a lot of people. Maybe just right a lot of people.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, no, but yeah, she knows. I'm glad when I saw that happen.
Yeah. Well, I think she's in a good place right now. But early on, you know, she started the Flat Earth and Other Hot Potato show, and all she ever did was interview people. I mean, why are people so hateful to her? I mean, all she did was provide a platform for everybody, really. But if you go back, I don't remember what number interview I was on her show, but she said, you know, I wasn't like a militant atheist or anything like that, but like God was off my page, you know. And this brought me to a realization that there is a God. That's step one, you know. Christians, I say that all the time. It's like, and I'll give another example of this. We have a microwave mentality, and yes, we have a zeal. We want to see people come to Christ. That's great. But when I was a missionary, I had to learn, especially in the places we were going, restricted access countries, in China in particular. They told us before we went there, they said, listen, don't go in for the clothes unless the Holy Spirit leads you to do that. You may not be the clothes. You may be the guy that just plows the field to get ready for somebody else that's going to plant the seed, for somebody else that's going to water it, and then maybe you might be the person who will harvest what somebody else has already done all that. But don't go in with an agenda. We want to go in. Look, we have a zeal. Great, that's awesome. But we need to be patient. People are on a journey. And God has to prepare hearts in advance. There were times when we knocked on the door and somebody was freaking out because they had a dream that somebody's going to visit them today, and you know God had totally prepared their heart in advance, and you know we go in for the close right away. And it would happen. But other times, just be whatever you have to be in that moment. And so, you know, people expect some of these YouTube personalities to instantly become evangelistic Christians or something. Listen, guys, they're all on a journey. You know, I'll just say, like, Jaron, pray for Jaron and his wife. You know, they come out with hateful things about the Bible and even Christianity. There's a reason that they're doing it. There are wounds there. I have spent a significant amount of time talking with them behind the scenes. And, you know, there was one time we did like a back-to-back shows, Darren and I, 2-hour shows. You know, we do 2-hour shows live for you guys, but then afterwards, where's the talking? When we get off the air, where's the talking? You know, and there was one time I worked over 3 hours with him and was getting him really close, and then a certain pastor came out and did something, called his wife a witch, and called him this and whatever, and it just ruined everything that I had spent so much time working, you know, for. And so when it comes to people like them, like we're talking about here, you know, Patricia wrote to me just not too long ago. It's like, you know what, Flat Earth brought me to God. I'll be forever thankful for that. I said, let's focus on that. Just get in the Bible. You know, read it. You know, I'm here. Others, I'm sure. If you have any questions, I gave her my wife's cell phone number also. You know, I'm like, look, you know, anything. Bob Nodell, man, that's some great conversations with him. Now, a lot of these people are searching. They're digging. They're weighing information. You know, and we stop shooting each other and slandering each other. You know, maybe we might be able to actually reach a lot of these people.
Well, especially if somebody's not a Christian.
Exactly.
In a little room, they're not going to know what costumes to wear at Halloween. If they're not Christians, give them a little space. God will work. God can work. you hold them to a different standard than somebody that's been born again for 10 years.
And I would say some of these people, like Rob was mentioning, Jared, I would go on the record for a non-Christian, one of the most transparent, honest, real guy. I say this all the time, but honestly, I would defend Jared just as a person. It is so unbelievable when you get to know Jared and you hear his heart and where he's at. He just says, I'm just expressing my opinion. I don't believe in the Bible. I got issues. There's a lot of people. And he says, I'm just expressing. As we're saying, these are crazy people. These people are on the forefront of the whole flat earth thing. They're there for a specific reason. And it's supernatural. Really, when you look at it, all these people are waking up. Of course, there's going to be that journey. Some are going to be slower than others. You know, in that journey, like patience, prayer, honestly, there's stuff happening. Yeah, and I have Tom's ready to go. Hey, Don, come on in, man. Here's another guy doing just phenomenal stuff. Just all these speakers. But what's happening, Captain? How you doing, man? You're up next, right? Okay. Well, and I know we'll wrap this up. You start right now? Okay. Right on. Okay. All right. Well, we'll make this quick. Josh, you had a question.
I just wanted to reiterate, as believers, we just need to get to know people's hearts. You never get a media person coming on. You never ever see all of somebody on a screen. I heard a lot of stuff about Rob, both Robbie and Rick, and we all can make choices where we can say, look, Father wants us to go meet him in person, because it's only in person when you're face to face and our spirits are together that you actually get that communion and you get to know someone's heart. You can't do it online.
And you can't believe what everybody types on a keyboard about a person. You just can't. I mean, I can honestly say, Rob's been accused of being involved with conspiracies because he was in the military. This is wild. I mean, I've been accused of being in part of Disney, part of the CIA. I got a little bodyguard. I admit, I said, hey, that's kind of funny. Whatever. But I will say this, all those things, whether it's the CIA, whether it's Disney, whether it's the Mennonite Mafia, all those things, I'm not in those, but I did stay at Holiday Inn Express last night. But, I don't know. Any other questions? I think that's it. Yeah, the Mennonite Mafia. Mennonite Mafia with Disney and the CIA. That's a wrap. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Robert. And Thomas Dunn is coming up next, and just praying the rest of this conference goes forward as it is supposed to be. And just love you all for being here. Thank you. Have fun while you're here. Enjoy the time. I know when we left here last year, it was like I felt like the kid who had to leave summer camp that was going to say bye to his friends. So it really was. So I'm not looking forward to tomorrow or even tonight. So thank you for being here today. That's a wrap.